Hi, Steve here. Welcome to this tutorial on Aussie Don Markets. When you first open the spreadsheet after you've had it registered and using it from day to day, you'll either get two screens. You'll either get this screen here, which all you need to do is click on Go to Master, and it will take you to the main master data site here, or when you open it you may already come to this master data sheet already. It just depends on how it was closed and saved last time. So this is where we start the day's racing. Now there's some important things we need to do. First thing is in preliminary, which is this is in addition to when we first introduced it, is the Dutch limited amount. Now if you put 70%, for example, which is what Don recommends, this will, once we produce the sheets, every sheet will have on it, if the Dutching limit is going to be over 70, before you even have to do any work in the sheet, you can see straight away, is the race worth looking at or not, because the Dutch percentage will already be put on each race. And additional to that, we make a separate summary sheet, and that figure that you put in here, like we've got 70 now, in that summary sheet, any races that have a Dutch percentage on the top three of 70 or less will be on that summary sheet, so you don't even need to go to each race tab to see that. So, but it's important that you set this up before we import data and before we create the sheets. So also in rounding, if you're using the exchanges, you may not want to use rounding. If you're using TAB or bookies, you may want to use a dollar rounding. Let's just put $1 in here for the argument's sake here. So, and the amount we want to spend, we just want to spend $10 per Dutch. Okay, so we put that here now. So that's, as I said, that's important. So when the summary comes up, these parameters are already set for it. So what we need to do now is check the date and make sure it's got today's date or whatever day you want in there to look at. It only does today or backwards. You can't go to tomorrow's date until the next day. So we look at that, and if you need to change the date, sometimes some computers don't update, you change it up in the formula bar up here at the top. I'm going to put in yesterday's date because there's only 3 race meetings today, and I put in yesterday's date because I've done some work that I want to show you. So once we've got the correct date in there, what we need to do is delete the sheets, and we get the pop-up, and it deletes the old sheets that are in there, and then we click import data. But as I said, before you click that, make sure that these settings are what you want. You can override these settings in the worksheets, but if you don't put the right ones in here, every worksheet you work on, you'll need to put the amount that you want. So it's easy to do it right now. Import data, it does not take very long. We've already got it there now. Click, and the next thing we need to do, so just move this down a bit. Next thing we need to do is create the sheets. Now this is going to create each individual race sheet. And it doesn't take very long, just depending on your speed of the internet and your computer. But it's getting every race meeting, and we're doing a Sunday meeting here, so there's quite a few race meetings covered, quite a few races. So, but it doesn't take long, as I said. Okay, now what it's come up with here is, don't forget to click on this, otherwise we can't go anywhere. Now we've got the summary sheet here. Now this is the summary sheet of all the Dutches that are 70% or less. Okay, so all these races here, 3 horses are 70% or less of the market. Okay, now what I want to do, so I just want to change this to 75% to show you one thing. Changing to 75 and click update. That will only change this here, it won't change it in the worksheets. Now why I changed it to 70% is to show you this highlighted box here. See this highlighted box here? If we look at Devonport race 8 and we count the horses, 1, 2, 3, 4, we've actually got 4 horses here and a highlighted section here. That tells us that the 3rd and 4th horse in the race are at the same price. And we can see here they're both at $5.10. So it's doing that so that we are aware that even though we want the top 3 horses, there's a 4th horse that has the same price as the 3rd horse. So you may want to do 2 things here. You can go into the individual race, and we have a nifty little feature for that. If we right click on that horse, we can see we can go to this horse, and what it will do is it will take us to the market. And as we're in this market now, we can see sure enough that Lesnar and Cheeky One are at 5.10. The Dutch horses are always at the market percentage that you've set. Like we've set this at 80% of the market price, so that's why it's showing 5.10 and not 6.37, which is the 100% price. Okay, so I just wanted to highlight that you've got that option there. If we go back here to the quick find, I just cancel this. If we right click on the little button down here, it takes us to directly to the races and to our summary sheet that we've just on. So we can actually, say we decide we want Cheeky One and not Lesnar, we can go on Lesnar and put no, and the price and the staking has changed. Okay, so the staking has changed. We can just bet the 3 and we'll still only bet our $10 spend that we've nominated here. In the chart, in the summary chart, it's the Dutch spend is the only option available. So we're opting to spend no more than $10 or $10 is what we're spending on the Dutch. If you want a Dutch to a target, then you need to go into the worksheet to use the Dutching to a profit. If you want to go to that option, you need to go to the worksheet. Okay, let's just go back to the summary. So there we have the horses here. You can do, once again, you can do the rounding. If you want to round to $1, all the prices will be rounded off to $1. If you want to change the commission, if you're using exchanges, you can change the commission. It shows it in whole numbers, but say for example we want 6.5. You can see, click enter, it says 7, but you can see in the column here it's 6.5. You can override it because, like for example, in Niandra, that's in New South Wales, the commission is 10, so you can override the commission, and you only need to override it if it's a winning bet, because the losing bets obviously there's no commission taken. The other option you've got in the summary sheet is we can print a PDF, so we can click on print PDF and it will print everything here, so we can use it as a worksheet, as a hard worksheet as we want to, if we want to, or we can just save it as a PDF. That option is also available in the top rated horses, which we'll talk about now. Top rated horses, in these ratings, the first and second horse win a lot of races. Okay, and I'll show you that right now. Just okay, here's the top rated horses for the day. What I used here is a price limit of 6.5. Now in the top rated horses, the price that we put in here and the price it brings in here is the 100% rated price, not the 80% price that we use in Dutching. It's the 100% price. Okay, and what I've done here is I've just put a price limit max of 6.5, so any horse that was rated $6.50 or less is in this sheet, in this instant worksheet. So you can see here the first race at Alice Springs we have 2 horses. The second race we have 3 horses, so that just means there's 3 horses that were under 6.5. Race 3 there's only 1 horse, Envy Me, etc. So out of these race meetings there ended up being 150 bets on horses that were rated $6.50 or less, and it made a profit after commission this is just, I haven't played around with prices, but after commission, it made 14 points profit just using it this way. What I like with the rated prices is, if we have a look at here at Desert Lass, its price there was at 3.62 and its SP price was 406. There's a lot of horses here where the odds, you can get over the rated odds, and that's what I like. They're over the rated odds horses. So if you want to spend time in that, that's something you could look at. This one here is basically just putting, I used a $1 stake. If you're using your bots and that, you can do $1 stakes, of course, as you'll be aware of, with Easy Bet Bot and that. But if you were just doing it directly with Betfair or the TAB or that, you would just have to put, well, directly into Betfair, you'd have to be using a minimum stake of $5 or £2 if you're in the UK. But that's the selection cross. I just wanted to show you that, and of course then this can be saved as a PDF to be saved for later research, or you can print it off and follow it as the day goes on. But you can see here Narendra had 2 selections. Powered Me Up was rated at 4 and it won and paid $7.17. Of course, Narendra being in New South Wales, 10%. Commission. There's another one down here at the end of the day. For example, Destiny's Republic, 3.9 and it paid 7.2. So we get some over the odds. Shadow Hawk, 3.74, paid 4.50. This is a new sheet that wasn't in the first version, and it works independent of what we did at the start. So you can change the price here. For example, I'll just bring up the other worksheet. Say for example we only wanted to look at horses that were 2.5. We could just click on update, and there we are. Today we've only got the horses here that are 2.5, and of that Mordor 1, Claptone 1, Light Pillar 1 and Quintello 1. So we have one, I'm not sure about Salty, but there's that's if you just wanted to keep it low, or you could go 3.5 if you wanted a bit more. And there's all the horses that are rated 3.5 and less, and you can see here there's 2 in the Carnarvon race 3, 2 in Devonport race 1. So a lot less bets though. You haven't got the 150 that I had. You've got 57 less the 7 at the top, so you've got 50 bets there. Some of these drifted out, and not as many obviously as when you have a little bit higher price. I like the higher price because they do have a good strike rate and you get some pleasant surprises. Okay, so that is the top rated horse, and let's go now and look at every race is an individual race. Every tab has got an individual race. So we've got here, this is the Alice Springs one. Because we're using here, we can do the market reduction. If we wanted 90% of the market, we put in 10% reduction, and you can see here now that it's on 90. Okay, so this market here, these prices here then would be at 90%. Disregard the 80% there, that's the default price that we have it set at, but this is at 90%. And we do this method solely to work out the Dutching. Okay, we can see here we've already got a red highlight up here which is alerting us to the fact that our ideal Dutching we set at 70. This one here, these top 3 horses are going to be higher than that. If we just go back to 20, you can see now we've gone back to 20 and it's jumped up to 83%. So we don't even have to, you can see here that the Dutch is 93. So we don't even have to put in the figures. If we don't want our Dutch to be over 70, we just bypass this race. In the first version we would have had to take the 80% price, so we're looking at this column here. I'll just explain this hide button. What this does, we click that, you can see we've just brought the Dutch right close to the 80% price, so we don't have to look across that big space. So we put in the Dutch figures here, and this wants to be part of the Dutch, so that yes, yes, yes. Okay, so now we've got those figures. You can see here it tells us it's at 83% of the market, exactly what we knew before we started. And of course this is a very high percentage, and we're not interested in going that high. It gives us the staking that we would need here to make $10 target profit. We would have to spend $25, $13, $9. So you can see there we're going to be risking $45 to make a $10 profit. Now if we go to our target spend, which is what that summary sheet would do, you can see there it's telling us this is the $10 we needed to spend. And you can see obviously if this horse had won, the first horse, had paid $232, we wouldn't have made much profit at $232, spending $5 on it. We would have made $11.60, and then of course we've got to take our 10 away, so we would have made $1.60. So it's not worth the risk. So with this option now, where we can get the top Dutch 3 there, we can either go to the summary sheet, which has got it all written there for us, or we can scroll through here and look. We can see there's 70%, 99%, definitely a race we wouldn't do. And this percentage in that here is using the 80% price here. Okay, if you change this market reduction like I did before to 10, then you'll see the Dutch prices come down because we're putting the prices are going up a bit higher. But Don uses the 80%, and that's what we've designed this to run on. Okay, so let's go to this race here. Why would we want to do our Dutch in the race format rather than just using the Dutch summary, the summary sheets here? Why would we want to be using the tabs down the bottom? And the reason for that is we have more options. So if we click the hide show, we bring the Dutch right next door to it. We've got the option now, so we put the prices in, and 6.29. We click on our yes. You don't need to use the top 3, but this system is set up for the top 3, but you might not want, say, May and Lass. You might think May and Lass hasn't got much of a chance and you would rather have Angry Rose. Well, then you can put in Angry Rose there, put in yes. You'll see the Dutch value's gone up to 83, but we're going to take out Me and Lass, so we go to no, and we come down to 67 now. So you can see now here's the stake money that we need to put on these 3 horses, and we're not having May and Lass. But just for example, say what we wanted to include Angry Rose, but we weren't very confident with it. We can use it as an insurance bet, as a saver bet. Now what a saver bet does is it doesn't, if Angry Rose wins, we don't make any money. But what it does is recovers our staking from the Dutch, so we don't lose any money. That's what the saver bet does. Now the saver bet, you can see here, it's not rounded to $1. So it's up to you. If you're using a TAB or a bookie in that, you would have to round it up or down however you considered it. But if you're using the exchange, it's exactly what you need it to be. Summary. Now also in the race tabs, the profit that's made here, say for example we had a winner here, and we got $3 for it. You can see that profit there, that is carried forward into the master, so we can see here the total profit is here. So whatever those you put on the race tabs, the total profit will show here in total profit. Okay, let's go back to our race, and if we the reason that's there's our profit there, so it was carrying that loss from that other race. Okay, so what is this tabs here? What are the this section here for? This is set up to respond to these commands up the top here. So if we want to target to win per horse, so this stake here 6.52 means if Future Dream starts at 2.53, we need to stake 6.52 to win $10. So we would say yes, we want that horse, for example. Now, do we want to use that stake? If you're on TAB, you might have to put $7 on it. If it wins, you put in win, and then you put in the price. Say the price was 3.2. We can see there now that we've made a return of 15.40, and we've made a profit after commission. Well, we don't have commission because we were betting on the TAB, weren't we? So we made 15.40 there, and we may have wanted Celtic Saint down here. We might have liked Saint, so we put that in there. It lost, so we don't need to worry about putting a price in there. We just need to put the stake. What we used $1, and we can see there now it lost, so obviously our net profit dropped. So this section here is if we want to bet individual horses. You may look at the race and say, for example, I'm only going to bet the horses that are over. You might have 3 or 4. You put them in there, and you can juggle them around to see what your profit's going to be like. So this is where the market reduction is. Whatever you do there, that takes it off 100. So if we wanted to go higher, say for example we wanted 120% of the market, what we would put in there is minus 20, and you can see there now it's jumped. Why is this 11993? It's close enough to 120%. If Whitworth, for example, was scratched, we can take that out, and you can see that percentage market has dropped down to the value of what Whitworth was. These horses, the only reason you'll need to reduce horses out of here really is late scratchings, and these ratings are done after the official scratching time. So it's only horses that become non-runners after the official scratching time that you would need to start taking them out of the markets if they're non-runners. Okay, so that is how you use the individual staking. And also I've just talked to you on the Dutch. There's one other column here which is manual adjust, and this is where you can actually add. You may like a horse more than the others. You can add an extra stake in this manual adjust column here. Okay, if we go back to here, you may say that top horse, Envy Me, you want to put another extra $1 on it, and it gives you a warning to tell you that you put another $1 on it, and it's bumped up the staking. Okay, so you can see then those first 3 horses actually add up to $11 now, not the $10. Always remember the help button is there to help you, so if you click on it, it will take you to the tutorial page that has all of these columns listed and tells you what they all do. Also, this video will be there, the how to register video will be there, and Don's how to use Don's Dutching will also be there. Okay, the only other thing left for me to mention is you can save these sheets. I suggest that you save a backup copy, and then if you want to keep each race day like I do, is you say when you finish the racing for the day, say for example we've finished for the day, we go up to File, click on File, Save As, and wherever you want to save it, and I suggest you make a special ADM file. Then all you need to do then is put, just going to make sure I don't override it. Put something like today's date or something there, and save it so that all of those settings, all of the results that you put in those PDFs and all that at the end will all be saved, so you can go back anytime you want to and review what has happened on that day's racing. So you just click save, and it is saved there, and you can see up the top, just go up the top there, you can see that it's saved as that file, and you can override it anytime you want to, but if you want to go back and research it, it's there for you to do that. So thanks for watching this tutorial. If you want to watch it again, feel free to, but the best thing is to play around with it, and you'll soon get the feel of what it does and how you can use it, whether you're being Dutching or whether you want to top rated horses. The first two win a lot of races. If you include the third horse, you do get some very good dividends on the third rated horses as well. So on behalf of Michael, Don, aka Frank, and me, thanks for being involved with Aussie Don Markets. Thank you. PS, before I go, you can also get now Aussie Dog Markets, which will be available not long after I've done this video. So if you like the greyhounds in Australia, then you can get involved with Aussie Dog Markets. Thanks, and we wish you all the best, and I hope you have as much fun as we have had in bringing this product to you. Cheers.